Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to the Roxhill Media webinar. And I'm so excited that we've got Deborah Joseph, Editor-in-Chief of Glamour, with us today. Hello, Deborah. And we've also got Olivia Bloom-Davis, my colleague, who works for Roxhill Media. And she's, first of all, going to tell us about Roxhill Media and news updates.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar today. Just a quick reminder that everyone's, every email address on the Glamour team is up to date on the Roxhill website. So if you need any email addresses, do head over to the site. If you're not currently a client and you'd like a demonstration, click the Hit Demo button on the website. Do give us a follow on social media, because we are going to be announcing all of our upcoming webinars over the next couple of weeks. We've got masses in the pipeline. So yeah, do give us a follow to keep up to date with all of our latest news. And lastly, if you've got a question for Deborah, put it in the chat function on the side panel. And once Emma has gone through all of the questions, I will go through them all. So yeah, enjoy the webinar. Emma.
Deborah, tell us in the COVID era for everyone at Glamour.
I'm so sorry, I couldn't hear any of that because I think there was some kind of
there was some interference, wasn't it? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Tell us how it's been in the past few months for you and your team.
Well, it's been an interesting time, as it has been for everybody. It was a bit of a shock, everyone working from home overnight, but you know, we're mainly a digital brand anyway, so actually it wasn't that big a change for us. It was just basically we got our laptops sent to home and we just set up and we do a Zoom call twice a day, once at 9:30 every morning, once at 4:30 every afternoon, to kind of talk through how we're doing, how our traffic's doing, what's doing well, what isn't doing well, what ideas we think we should be working on either that day or the next day. And that's it. It's kind of, you know, business as usual for us. I think the biggest change has been in events, because we do the Glamour Beauty Festival twice a year, and obviously we can't do that in person at the moment, so we've shifted all our events to online. But actually, again, we're seeing huge success. We're doing a wellness event at the moment every evening, and we've had a few thousand people signing up, so it's been an interesting time for us. It feels like all the hard work we've put in the last 3 years to shift to digital first has actually stood us in very, very good stead now that we're in lockdown.
That's fantastic. It really has. And what sort of stories have come out of the past few months? Have you shifted your focus at all editorially?
I mean, our main conversation is don't be tone deaf. You know, when COVID first came in, we'd be doing features on, say, testing foundations and, you know, how is your foundation going to last your day through on the tube? And it was like, well, people aren't really getting the tube at the moment. So it was just about shifting the conversation and nuances within our writing to make sure that the copy became relevant to our everyday reference points. So I'd say the biggest shift was our reference points. Obviously, you know, at-home beauty has become a massive conversation, not so much now because the beauticians are open again, but certainly for the last few months. Mental health is a massive conversation for us because, you know, our audience are mainly millennial and Gen Z. A lot of them are, you know, struggling. Some people are living on their own. Some people are worried about their careers and their jobs. A lot of people were freelancing and on, you know, maybe eligible for the furlough scheme. So mental health, finance, these conversations have been really prevalent in a lot of our content that we've been producing.
Yeah, fantastic. And how often are you posting new stories online? Because it's, having looked at the Glamour site, you seem so prolific with all your news stories.
I mean, we put up 24 pieces of new content a day, which is a lot. It's a lot, but probably half of it is net new content, so completely new features from scratch. But anyone who works online and works on a website will know you also spend a large proportion of your time for SEO purposes updating old content. Right. So, you know, when you Google an article, if it says that it was last updated in 2013, you're not likely to read it, but the topic might still be relevant. So we regularly update all the relevant old content as well. So we might put, if a new product comes out in the market, or there's a new fashion collection or anything like that, we'll update an old feature to add in new clothes or new stats or new topics to make it relevant for today. And then when people Google that article, they can see that it's a new piece, not an old one.
Yeah. Brilliant. And who is your user? If that's it. I mean, I know you have your 2 issues a year, actual print issues, but who is your audience? Is there a very specific glamour woman?
I mean, we say we're for millennial and Gen Z, but the reality is, you know, a Gen Z woman might be 18 and a millennial woman might be 35, and their life, what's going on in their life is completely different. So I always say that it's more about a mindset. You know, I think, you know, if you're a glamour girl, I'm a glamour girl. I'm 46 and I'm still, you know, I get it. I've got a sense of humour. I don't take life too seriously, but I'm also very interested in politics and, you know, wider issues. And I think glamour's always been about a love of shoes and makeup and a love of more serious issues like politics, and they're not mutually exclusive. And I think that's not really an age thing, it's a mindset thing. I'd say that's who our reader is. And also, you know, you have different readers on different platforms. So for example, our print audience is probably slightly older, our TikTok audience is younger, our Instagram audience is was very young but is now growing older, and then Facebook's, you know, slightly older. So we reach everyone from 18 to 35, 36, I'd say.
Yeah, great. There seems to be a healthy, wonderful interest in beauty, followed by fashion. Would you say that's the order it goes in? Just thinking about the sort of PR audiences. So beauty, then fashion, then presumably wellness. Are those? Do you think that's where your priorities lie, or is there a certain lifestyle element creeping up the list of the priority list?
Well, when I took over as editor 3 years ago, it was a general lifestyle. Glamour was always a general lifestyle title that I would say probably veered more towards fashion first. And when I came on board, the powers that be had already decided that they wanted to pivot Glamour to be a beauty first brand, because they didn't feel at the time, my publisher Camilla Newman, who came up with the new strategy, she didn't feel at the time that the beauty that there was nobody really owning it in the beauty space in the UK. There was in America, but not so much in the UK. So I'd say we shifted to a more beauty first priority, but I think fashion, because of the history of Glamour always being very fashion conscious, we've never lost that audience. So we find that when we write about fashion, which we do every day, it still massively resonates with our audience. And also empowerment across everything. I think everything we do, whether it's beauty, whether it's fashion, wellness, money, feminism, everything has an empowerment messaging behind it.
Fantastic. So if I'm a beauty PR, what's the best way for me to contact you or one of your team, and which stories stand out, and how do we as PRs get it right, and how do we get it wrong?
Well, we all cover beauty in some degree, but I've got a specifically beauty focused team. That's Camilla Kay, who's the beauty director, Lottie Winters, the beauty editor, and Elle Turner, who's the deputy beauty editor. And they focus purely 100% on beauty every day. Our web director, Bianca London, is also very, very beauty focused. So, I mean, we always look for exclusives. So someone's just given us an exclusive on their new foundation, which once I leave this meeting, we always we try and test all our beauty products on 5 different skin types, skin colour and tone. So 5 of us are going to be testing that, and I'm going to go and test it now and then write my review and send it. So exclusives, interesting angles that haven't been read or heard of before.
Someone walked into the meeting room, Emma.
Yeah, carry on, carry on.
Emma's gone into the office today.
And the best thing for us guys to do, I mean, are you doing face-to-face meetings, or is it all still very much being done virtually?
I'd say more virtually. I mean, I know Camilla Kay has had a few one-to-one lunches and meetings. I haven't yet. I would do, but mainly on Zoom. You know, we have meetings with PR agencies where we get a few of our team and a few of their team, and we chat and we brainstorm together. We've done that with a couple of agencies and it's worked really well. We've done kind of a plan of working together. So they'll talk to us about what launches they've got. We discuss what we can do around it and what we want to do around it. So we can plan like 3 months ahead, which is really great, actually.
Brilliant, brilliant. And you have 2 print issues of Glamour a year. Is that a different team, or is it the same team that works on all the stories? you dedicate more time to producing these print issues?
Well, both. So we get a freelance print team who come in for each issue,
Okay.
but then also Charlie Tether, who's our fashion editor on digital, also works on the print. Josh Newis-Smith, who works on all our entertainment content, also does print. So it's a mixture.
Yeah. And those two print issues come out in February and September, am I right in thinking?
Well, they did come out in March and September, but actually this year, because of COVID, we've delayed the print issue to November, and we're looking now to see when we want to do it next year, because it just didn't feel, it's just about, again, it's about shifting and pivoting to be producing content at the right time that's relevant. Next year is actually Glamour's 20th year. It's the 20th anniversary, so we're looking to see what we're going to do around that.
Yeah, great. And price point, do we have to be conscious if we're representing a fashion brand or a beauty brand or any other lifestyle brands, do we have to be conscious of the price point for your audience or not really?
We honestly cover everything from, makeup and brands that cost £1 to fashion that costs thousands of pounds. We cover the whole gamut.
Right. And sort of lesser sort of glamour obvious lifestyle elements like food, travel, drinks. How much do you cover those areas?
I mean, we cover food through the lens of wellness.
Right.
We do a lot of travel online. We do loads, and normally it does brilliantly for us. We also do affiliates, so any brands that can offer affiliates to us, we always cover that. At the moment, obviously, travel, we're focusing more on UK travel at the moment. So we're still doing reviews of hotels and, villas that you can rent and Airbnb and any kind of travel basically that's relevant to our reader. We cover at the moment, as I said, more UK focused. What was the other one? Travel, food, and what was the third?
And drinks, brands and interiors, things that aren't quite so...
Yes, Chelsea on my team covers interiors. We don't do a huge amount, but we'll do it, for example, if like a fashion brand is doing an interiors collection, we're looking at that in the moment. When people are working from home and want to like jazz up their living experience. So we try and go into our interiors. It's not always just basic straight interiors. It's often got a lifestyle, mental health angle or a lifestyle angle that's relevant to the reader.
Absolutely. And do you do profiles on, is there a sort of glamour woman, maybe celebrities or other wellness related personalities who you feature, or is profiles not so common on the site?
I mean, in terms of like traditional profiles, as in interviews, we do lots of celebrity profiles. So, for example, all the Netflix TV shows, anything up and coming, we always interview the people. In terms of wellness people, we don't generally do profiles on them, but they're more likely to get involved with our Wellness Wednesday Instagram franchise. So they'll do a takeover and create a video for us, and Self-Care Sunday as well. We have a lot of wellness people doing that kind of stuff.
So those, do they come under the sort of the Self-Care Sunday and stuff? Do they come under the Glamour events umbrella? And if so, how do we as PRs get our clients to work with you on those sorts of things?
No, they're not events. They're just, we've got a 7-day Instagram franchise. So every single day of the week on our Instagram, we have an Instagram story with a different theme. So as I said, Wednesdays are Wellness Wednesdays. So we get influencers or experts to take over and talk about a particular topic. And Self-Care Sunday as well, we get someone to share how what they consider self-care, which they might do on a Sunday. It might be a product or a beauty product. It might be a mental health app that they use. It's their takeover, and they talk to us about how they manage their self-care. Brilliant.
Sorry, going back to the events then, is that something that PRs can collaborate with you over? I mean, I know it's really sort of quite a lengthy discussion, but how would we go about getting our clients in front of you for such things?
So we do sponsorship packages with all our events. So for example, the one tonight, our wellness is sponsored by Boots, and who also normally sponsor our beauty festival. So they've sponsored this amazing wellness. So for example, tonight I'm hosting an event on fertility. I'm interviewing fertility experts and a couple of influencers about their own experiences of trying for a baby, and the struggles that people have. So Boots is sponsoring that. You know, we've also covered sexual wellness. We've also covered, which has also become a much bigger topic in lockdown, I would say, and also mental health. So that's that one. We also did a Black Skin Decoded event about a couple of months ago that was sponsored by Il Maquillage, the beauty brand, and we're doing another one coming up very soon on black hair. So that's going to be amazing. That's also sponsored by Aveda.
Fantastic. So if we represent brands that we think might be of interest to you and your audience, we can just get in touch, even if it's more of a sponsorship thing than a PR thing. And
it's a sponsorship. It's definitely a sponsorship thing. It's not a PR thing. I mean, obviously, the panelists that we get on, in that case, if you've got, you know, a face of a brand that's relevant to the topic that we're doing, that's a way of getting on the panels. But in terms of actual sponsoring the event, that's speaking to Camilla Newman or Bandy Manzini, who's on our commercial department.
Yeah, brilliant. With just going back to face-to-face meetings, are your team keen to meet up with PRs? Because it's sort of, you know, often the way journalists and PRs love to do things. But
I think on Zoom, I think at the moment, I mean, if I'd spoken to you a month ago, I'd say, oh yeah, we're looking more to meeting up. But I think now with the second lockdown, I'd say probably more on Zoom.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fairly conscious we've got a lot of questions pinging in. Should we do some now?
Is that what that noise is? I was thinking, what is this? I wasn't sure if it was my computer.
All the questions that we want to be able to get through because everyone's got all these questions.
Okay,
so
I can't see them. Am I meant to be able to see them?
No, don't worry, I'll go through them.
Okay.
Just quickly, just a couple more questions that I had to ask. Oh, there's a time delay. Just what assets do you need for articles, and what should PRs include in their pitches when they're sending things over?
So we're not, I would say we're probably not that interested in generic emails saying this product is launching and here's the images. We're much more interested in being told about them in advance so that we can think of our own angle. As I said, we like to test the products on a few different skin tones. So if you can give us, you know, at least a week's notice so for example, the product that I'm testing after has just arrived this morning and I need to get it up by lunchtime today. So giving us a little bit more time is great. Knowing that we always test products on different skin tones is a good thing for you to know. So you can contact us and say, who can we send these products to be tested? Sorry, what was the question? I've lost my mind.
What assets do PRs need to send over? So do you like, say, Dropbox images? Should they always include a price in the pitch?
Yes. Price, location where it can be bought, any bit of information that you can, really. Maybe a quote from the brand owner. Again, we'd rather have an exclusive quote. So even contacting us saying, you know, can we get an exclusive quote for your feature or something? I think everyone's looking for original content. Nobody wants, and I'm sure the brands feel the same. You don't want the same information just repeated over and over and over again on 20 different websites. You want each one to have maybe a different brand, a different kind of angle that's unique to that audience. Yeah, I'd say don't do a generic. Obviously, sometimes you just have to do generic emails just to let people know about it, but then follow it up maybe with what can we do with you independently, individually, that gives you your own angle. I think that's probably a much better way. And also, we always appreciate it when people have looked at our content, looked at our social media, understand what our franchises are, and you know, we also have columnists. Alice DePark's an amazing beauty columnist for us, and she writes it monthly. She picks one product and she writes really in depth on that product. So it's just being aware of who our columnists are, what they write about, and maybe reaching out to them as well individually. Can you hear my dog snoring, by the way? I don't know if you can. She's under my pug is snoring away.
One of the questions, let me get it now because that is perfect timing. Oh, where is it? Someone's asked
about dogs.
Do you and your team have any pets? I know we've worked with you on some stories this year to do with pets and COVID, and that's from Emma Sword. You've got dogs, and you've just done an amazing piece on rescue dogs.
I am absolutely dog mad. I'm crazy about my dogs. I'm obsessed with them, and we've just done a feature this week actually on the kind of the pandemic
Yeah.
with people buying puppies and how cruel it is and how to, so we're doing a lot more content on that front, because again, a lot of our audience are buying dogs at the moment and not aware of the cruelty involved from the breeders. So Lottie Winter, our beauty editor, again, if you go online, you can read her really, really distressing story of her experience of buying a dog recently. It's really tragic. She bought this gorgeous puppy and she was basically totally conned, and the dog is got terrible congenital problems. And so yes, we are obsessed with dogs. I'm always looking for dog friendly places to review. I never go away unless I can take my dogs in the UK. We do. I mean, yeah, maybe even Christmas gifts for your dog. We'd do something like that, you know, colours, and you know, we're kind of dog mad. We've also got a dog friendly office, so normally
amazing.
when the office is open, I quite often take one of my pugs in with me.
I think my dog would go mad in the office.
I love it. We've had like 3 dogs at once running around the office like mad. It's very cute. I think it's good for mental health. I think it's good for mental health.
I totally agree. Who is the best person to contact for the Christmas gift guide? And is it going to be in print and online this year?
No, we never do it in print. So
cool.
It's only online. It's somebody called Sophie Cockett, Cockett. So sophie.cockett at condenast.co.uk. She is our affiliates writer. She compiles all of our everything like that, all of our list type features, and she also will do an affiliate link to your website if you've got one.
Brilliant. And the other most asked question for people that aren't signed up to the Roxhill database is, who is the best person to contact for travel?
Bianca, London.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And
with the next 2 print issues, are they just going to be March and September next year, or are they going to be different months next year?
We are just discussing it at the moment, because this current one is coming out in November, which is a couple of months later than the usual one. And if we want to go March again next year, then we are literally going to have to go straight back into it, which I'm quite keen to do. Yeah. So I'm just trying to work out at the moment. Even maybe do we do 1 issue a year next year? We're literally having this conversation, but I just don't know at the moment if we're not going to be back in the office and back commuting again till next October, which is what's being suggested, whether print is where my focus needs to be in the next 12 months. And the thing I've always loved about Glamour is we pivot, we change, we react very quickly to situations. So I don't know, I'm just wondering, I'm interested to know from the PRs out there, do they feel, you know, print is the most relevant medium for us to be in for the next 12 months? My issue is normally we do print around our beauty festival, because all the advertisers that we have want to be in print. Well, that's part of the deal, and because we're not going to probably have a beauty festival, certainly not in March next year, I'm just thinking, I don't know, do I need to be doing it? You know, it's I don't know.
With PRs it's difficult because it does depend on our clients and what they want and they need, and some are older guards and some are newer guards, so it's kind of, but you know, the strength of Glamour's website and the fact that it's so strong, you know, it's an easy way to sway the clients into thinking that, you know, you don't need print anymore in your.
I just, you know, I've just totally changed my view on the way brands work. You know, I think we all have to shift and change accordingly. And again, this is just a conversation we've been having with my publisher. I'm like, do we need to do a March issue? Do we wait till November to do the next one? You know, what's it actually bringing our audience? What's it actually doing? You know, it's a job. Print is a job on top of my day job, and it's really stressful. And I'm thinking, well, what's the benefit of this? Is the actual what it brings back to the reader, and what it brings back to me, my team. I don't know. I do feel that COVID's really shifted more towards digital. I really feel that.
And actually, arguably, as brands, we must, as you're saying, we must shift with it, because
that's my feeling.
Necessarily how we should continue to do things. Yeah.
I never want to do something because that's what's always been done.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Deborah, because 24 stories are going up every day, I assume you need content daily. But does this affect when PRs should be pitching to you? Is there a particular day that they should be pitching, or is every day good?
Every day and in advance.
Yes.
Don't pitch me on the day you want the piece to go, which does sometimes happen. And you know what, sometimes we turn things around on the day. You know, I've had stuff come in the morning, we're like, oh my god, this is brilliant, let's do it there and then, but I'd prefer to have some notice.
Brilliant. Who's the best contact for health and fitness for print and
I think
online?
Bianca London.
Gosh, Bianca's busy.
Bianca is, I've never worked with anybody quite like Bianca. She is a machine. She produces more content so quickly. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know how she does it. I can't do it. I can't match it. I've never seen anybody who can, but she's super fast, super capable, and she just churns out that brilliant content, gets it up.
That's amazing.
Actually, I don't like the word churn because I think there's a negativity around journalism when it comes to online content, and actually I think she bridges the gap between journalism and journalism. It's good quality content, but she just gets it up super fast.
Amazing. And Instagram takeovers, they sound really popular, and lots of people have asked who should they be getting in touch with for their Instagram takeovers.
So that's our social media editor. That's Chloe Laws, CHLOE.LAWS. laws@condenast.co.uk.
This is quite a good question. Would you rather receive a pitch with a core data/content that you can make your own, or a finished exclusive piece that ties into what Glamour do?
Never want a finished piece. We would never, I don't think we've ever in the whole time ever run a piece that somebody has completed. We always want to commission it ourselves and give our own angle.
Yeah. Are you still featuring restaurants and bars, and are you sending people to review them?
I don't think we ever have done that. I mean, we do it occasionally, but it's certainly not. It's not a core. We might do like a roundup feature of the best bars in London or something like that, but we don't do so many individual reviews of places.
Great. Liz Blakenborough has said that she can help find you somewhere for a dog-friendly place to stay. So Liz, get in touch with Deborah after this.
I've also got 3 children, so we're not an easy family to fit in. We're not an easy family.
Brilliant. Are you interested on women entrepreneur stories?
Yes.
If they're not fashion related, empowerment, mental health, feminine leadership?
Yes, it depends what it is, and actually we are going to be doing more on something specific around that, so please do contact me about it. But yes, we wouldn't, I get quite a lot of pictures saying, would you like to do a feature on this one person? It's not, again, we wouldn't do profiles just on one person for no reason. Think of things like International Women's Day. Think of those events, now is Black History Month, so we're really focusing on maybe Black entrepreneurs. Think about the wider context of what's going on in the world and why your pitch is relevant for now more than ever.
Yeah, brilliant. And with sustainable stories and sustainable products and sustainable clothing, presumably that's very important to the Glamour woman.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of our key areas. I mean, we've got, we get trolled all the time at Glamour. It's become part of my daily life, because if we say the wrong thing, if we do the wrong thing, we are held to account. And that's why I love this job, because I really feel our audience are so vocal, they are so opinionated, and they hold me to account, and I don't mind it, actually. I mean, I don't like being trolled. I don't like cancel culture. I don't believe in it. I don't agree with it for anybody in any case. And I do think that has to change, but I really don't mind, especially DMs, if people don't agree with what we've done, without trying to publicly shame. I do really love the fact that our audience absolutely communicate with us about what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. And that's how I feel we keep our finger on the pulse, because we know if we're doing it wrong. We know it. We are told very quickly. And it gives us the opportunity, as I said, to change, to shift, to pivot, and to move very quickly. And that's what I love about digital. You can shift within 24 hours and pivot and move the direction of your business, which is exciting.
Brilliant. So on the sustainable front, are UK products looked upon more favourably than international products, just because of the very fact they're made in this country, or is that not a thing?
I think it's part of the wider conversation, but just because something's made in the UK doesn't mean it's sustainable. It has to be the whole conversation. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. There's so many brilliant questions coming in.
I want to see them. It's really.
Can you not see them on the right hand side?
I can only see a number, and if I click on it, nothing happens.
Oh,
hang on. Show sidebar. Here we are.
Now you can see them.
Technology. There we go. I'm going to have to put my glasses on now because I can't read anymore. Okay.
Naomi's put, do sustainability issues provoke trolling the most?
Do sustainability issues provoke trolling the most? No, they don't.
Okay.
I mean, if for example, if we did something that used non-biodegradable glitter, we'd be told about it. You know, when I first started at Glamour, we shared a video on Facebook where, I mean, it seems impossible now that we'd ever share something like this, but this was 3 years ago. We did a video where you can curl your hair on plastic straws. Troll to shit. You know, is that? Yeah. I mean, again, it was my ignorance. I just didn't know at that point just how, you know, I was new. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they tell us very, very quickly if we've done something wrong.
Wow.
We wouldn't dream of doing that now, but the straws have been banned since then. But at the time,
yeah.
In terms of sending products for testing, or just in particular with beauty products, PR wants to send something to you. I presume you'd prefer to be asked before your house/office gets flooded with millions of products.
Well, people do just send us. They don't ask us before they send it for the office. For home, obviously, because it involves giving out home addresses, and obviously people always ask. But no, in the office, things just arrive. I don't know they're coming. Though it is good to know sometimes I've sent you this. This is why I'm sending you. You know, please, you know, watch out for it and consider this angle or this story. I think that's appreciated.
There's a question from Holly. You mentioned mental health and other lockdown trends. Are there any other core content themes that Glamour is interested in for next year that PRs could help with?
Definitely finance. We've launched a Money Matters Facebook group at the beginning of lockdown because we kind of looked ahead, could see that, you know, unfortunately, the conversation around money, losing jobs was going to be a big issue for us and for our audience. And so we launched a Money Matters Facebook group. Join it if you're not in it. It's really insightful and interesting and informative for people who's talking about different things. You know, I think it's really important that women talk about money. We're not very good at it. And again, my generation is really bad at it. I would never discuss my salary with anybody, whereas my team discuss their salary all the time, and it holds employers to account. When you're going for a job, you know what you should be asking for. It will help close the gender pay gap as far as I'm concerned. So it's all of these conversations. We're really trying to open and end the taboo of women talking around money, being embarrassed. You know, sometimes if someone asks me for a pay rise, they're embarrassed, they apologize beforehand. I'm like, don't be embarrassed to ask for a pay rise. I might not be able to give it to you, but you shouldn't be embarrassed about asking about it, because why wouldn't you ask for one if you feel you're worthy of it? You know,
absolutely.
And that's something we're really focusing on a lot. We
also doing that. Brilliant.
We also do a column, weekly column, a Money Matters column, where we take people's individual financial experiences and we break down the way they spend their money, and we get advice from experts on how they can save better, or, you know, whatever it is they need to do. So that's a big focus for us in the next 12 months, money.
And who's the best person to contact for money related features? So
you can send it to, so we've actually got a freelancer does on weekly column, that's Marie-Claire Chapette. I'm not going to spell her name because I'm not sure what her Instagram account is. Marie-Claire, you can send that to me. I get involved. You can send it to Bianca, and also Chloe, our social media manager, manages the Facebook group. So anything, you know, we're looking for, we're going to start doing kind of live interviews on the Facebook group. So if you have financial experts that want to come on and talk to people, we can do that kind of stuff, or a live Q&A. You can also sponsor the Facebook group. You can people have sponsored, now Pension sponsored our column. There's loads of things we're doing around it.
Great. We've got a question from Emma Heesum.
I was just about to ask that.
I thought this is really interesting one.
Yeah, it's really good, really good.
You mentioned you can sit down with PR agencies and discuss 3 months ahead and opportunities. How do small freelancers get to do that?
Freelance PRs?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if there was enough interest, if I got, I don't know, 20 people emailing me after this saying I want to do this, I could set up a Zoom call with my friends, with my team, who are my friends as well, with my team, and maybe we could do a half-hour event where we discuss what we're looking at for the next 3 months and ways that we can with you. I'd be happy to do something like that, because we do it with
everyone's going mad for this, Deborah.
Coordinated.
We are doing it. We do it with we did it with Jenny Halpin. It was actually her idea. She reached out to me at the beginning of lockdown and said, can we have a meeting, all of us? We work with them all the time anyway, but it's just so great to We also did it with Kelly at Pure PR. We did it with her and her team. So I don't see why we wouldn't do it with a wider group of PRs.
That's so funny. Can you see the enthusiasm for that coming?
Okay, I can't see that. Oh yeah, okay, great.
Well, awesome.
Deborah, we will arrange that. I will be in touch with you for that time with the team, and for everyone that has been on this, all the freelancers that have been on this webinar. So thank you, that'd be brilliant.
One discussion we're having here, which our audience will be interested in, we think that kind of out the other side of COVID, now is the sort of freelancers' time. You know, before the PR agency has always been a dominant factor, but we kind of think that the PR freelancer is becoming more of a common thing, and maybe, you know, people have had to shave down their numbers in PR agencies. So we want to look after you freelancers out there.
Totally. And you know what? This is an opportunity for women who may have lost their job to maybe set up their own business. I mean, that's certainly, I think, if I was in that position, that's certainly where my head would be.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
Right.
now everyone's now, I can't find the questions because everyone said yes, please. That would be amazing.
Are you interested in hearing from charities? If so, are there any particular causes you'd like to hear from?
Absolutely. We work with charities all the time, mental health charities. We're doing something with an HIV charity. Actually, I'm working on that today. They came to me with a case study 2 days ago and said, would you be interested in interviewing this woman? And I was like, yes, absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. If it's relevant to women, age 18 to 35, absolutely, yes.
Brilliant. Can you tell us what we as PRs get wrong? Because we don't want to get things wrong. Well, I hate getting things wrong, though I know I do. What can we stop doing this? We got into a bad habit with, because I know there are mistakes we make.
I mean, I just hate getting an email saying, hi there. It's like,
Yeah.
can you not even find my name? I really find it really offensive. It's so rude. I would never send an email to someone saying hi there. I would only ever address an email to someone by name. So I just don't understand why that's okay. That gets a delete from me straight away when it's hi there. I don't even read the email. I think it's just lazy.
Yeah.
And if any of my team sent an email saying hi there, unless it was a friend, someone who's a mate, I'd be really upset about it. I just think, you know what, I'm much more inclined to respond when I know someone understands the Glamour brand, someone who's bothered to read the magazine and read, some people say to me, I didn't realise you're only 2 times a year. I'm like, where have you been for the last 2 years? You're working in PR, you should know this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just educating yourself on what each, and I'm sure it's not just me who feels like that, understanding what the difference is between all the women's brands, understanding the nuances, where we focus, where we don't focus. We do loads of regular content, so it's very easy for people to know. For example, we do a fashion thing every week online called Charlie Chooses, where our fashion editor chooses her top fashion picks of the week. We've been doing that for 2 years. So if you're a fashion brand and you want to get your product, that's a really easy way of doing it. So instead of sending a generic email, we're a fashion brand and here's the products we've got, maybe tailor it specifically to the columns that we do.
Yeah. I mean,
have you got a simple? Sorry, Emma.
One consistent thing we get from editors like you, Deborah, each time is, please read our title. Please. Yes. It only takes to get the gist of it. It doesn't take the whole day. It takes a few minutes to just understand the vibe.
But also, why are you pitching a product to a brand that you don't even know if it's right for the brand or not? I think if you're being paid by a client, you're being paid for your expertise of knowing what the nuances on it. So I think it's part of your job really as PRs to really understand why you should be going with Glamour over somebody else in this particular instance. Yeah.
As the team love dogs, are you interested in other animals, wider conservation and sustainability stories, especially if linked with amazing women making a difference in the world and/or travel? This sounds very Glamour.
So I am personally, we've never really found a place for it on our Glamour content. We don't do that much on it. I think for travel, yes, we could do like places to go if you're interested in animals and conservation. That would be a really great travel feature. We don't tend to do like focusing in on one person who's been working in that area. Sorry, there's also another question. Is there a sustainability contact? Yes, Charlie Tether, our fashion editor. If it's fashion, it's Charlie. If it's beauty, you could probably go to Elle Turner.
On a travel note, Liz Blakeburn wants to know if you would cover luggage and bags for the website.
Yes, we do. We have around again. So this is a really simple tip. If you're wondering if you can get, say you're an independent PR and you look after a luggage brand, Google Glamour suitcases or Glamour travel luggage, see what comes up, see when it was last updated. So if it was updated 12 months ago, email and say, I've noticed your travel piece hasn't been updated for 12 months. Can you update it with my new luggage? And that's, and then you get put into the gallery. Because with the product updates, obviously some products stay on sale for years, but a lot of the time we have to update them to make sure the product's in store. Yes. So that's a great way of just getting a very easy win for your client to get you into one of our galleries. But do a bit of research beforehand. Google, see, A, do we cover it in the first place? And B, if we do, can you be added to that particular article? And send the link to the article and say, can I be added to this gallery? And you do that, and it's very easy.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And it kind of gives you that nudge thinking, oh, you can't monitor everything.
Exactly. And then we might then go, oh gosh, look, we haven't updated that piece for 12 months. So actually, let's put it in for an update.
Great.
Sorry, talking about dogs, mine is absolutely losing her mind outside. So she's going to sit here for the last 5 minutes quietly.
About 5 minutes left. So
yeah. Who is the best person to speak to about charity case studies?
It depends what the topic is, but I'd say Bianca London, probably.
Right. If in doubt, go to Bianca.
Yeah, anything around first-person case studies, I would say go to Bianca. A travel, go to Bianca. If it's something around a wider investigation, I'm the one who manages those, so I tend to commission them and edit them. Bianca does the daily news content that goes up every day. That's Bianca. I mean, we work on it together every day, but she's the one who manages it all, not me. I do the bigger investigation pieces generally online.
With images, presumably it's very much kind of low res. You're not desperate for high res, unlike magazines, except for your 2 print issues a year. Do you like those to be embedded in the email? Does it give you a good idea of what the story might be about?
Yeah.
And do you ever
our picture editor is called Chelsea Hughes. She also does the interiors. I mean, any products, we tend to just get her. She normally contacts you, or if you send us an email with images, then we'll just forward it on to her.
Sure. Yeah, great. We've probably got time for 2 more questions. Olivia? Unless you want to.
Sorry?
I can do them unless you want to. You go for it.
Do you like to have a few members of the team CC'd in emails, i.e. a first-person case study that could be an entrepreneur-led? Should I email Deborah and CC Bianca?
Yes, loads of people CC both of us, and then we decide between us who's taking it on. I don't tend to do the quick news stories. Bianca does those fully. So if you've got a product-led feature, I might review one for Bianca, but I don't tend to manage those features. But if there's something as a wider piece on feminism, or like the dog, the dog piece, for example, I commissioned Lottie to do it and I edited it and we were working on that together. The bigger pieces I tend to work with the team on.
Brilliant. Amazing.
Victoria McAvoy, does Glamour cover lifestyle consumer tech such as dating apps? And if so, who's the best contact?
All the time. Dating, I would say Bianca.
Bianca is a right.
Bianca, or I tell you who else, Chloe as well does a lot on dating. Though she's just stopped dating, she's fallen in love. But yeah, she used to write a lot on dating. Yeah.
And tech
in lockdown.
With tech should be like if it was a fashion app, would we contact the fashion team for that? So that
yes, exactly. If it depends on the topic. For dating specifically, I would contact Bianca. If it was a beauty app, I'd contact the beauty team. If it's a fashion app, I'd contact Charlie.
Great.
Brilliant.
But you know what? You can CC Bianca in on anything or CC me on anything. We don't mind.
Thank you. That's you're going to regret saying that.
I just don't do the daily news stories, so I'm probably not the best person for that.
Perfect. I think that's all we've got time for.
I think it is.
Else, yeah. Deborah, thank you. That has been
so much
beautiful. Really, the audience is loving it, and we all. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.